Open up your eyes till you're blinded by the lies, so you can see what you do. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but I'm in the dead of the night. Teardrops on the floor. The pain is over. Feel the darkness take control.
This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want now. This ain't what you want. Who alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a Scotch bunny. Don't try studying me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat. You'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent, so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted. Can't copy, printed. Can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence. So consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no capping, I'll be breaking this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Everyone, welcome back to week 8 of the Triumph Challenger Cup tournament. This is it, the final shot at redemption for Team Jeff and Mantis. The winner of this will go into the grand final against Team 4. Winner takes all. Who do you think is going to edge this one off, Ethan?
So I couldn't really predict how this is going to go off. Both teams have proven themselves quite a bit. Team Jeff have clawed through the trenches to get where they kind of are right now. Where Team Mantis has kind of had a smooth ride, up and down. It has been smooth overall. They did have a devastating defeat of Team Thor. Both teams played very, very well. Both teams truly wanted it, but unfortunately Team Thor at the end of the day was more on point on the day. So Team Mantis has unfortunately gone down to the lose bracket. But they still have a chance to go back. They still have a chance to fight Team Thor again. But it's going to be very interesting at how it plays out, because this is going to be a make or break for both teams. As you can see from the bracket we see here, Jeff starting off, Incy going down the loser bracket, but winning their first game in the loser bracket to get them to the semi-finals right now. And Mantis skipping the first game, but going through and then losing to Team Thor in the semi-final as well. So it's going to be very interesting of how it will play out between these two teams, because they both have new subs coming in, which could adjust team dynamics or take away or gain more team composition from it. So it's going to be interesting of how those players adapt to the new environments, because Mantis is obviously, we've seen them, they're a very, very good side, have a lot of good players, especially losing some players and gaining some more. It'll be a bit difficult to adjust them into play styles when they've locked into a play style so much. Whereas Team Jeff has kind of been almost the same going through. Their kind of comps almost going 3 strategists every single time. So having new players coming in, you may see them drop off that 3 strategist role and go for more of a 2-2-2, which could be interesting, like 2 duelists, 2 vanguard, 2 strategists. So it's going to be really interesting at how that's going to determine the games as such. And the map picks also do favour some teams over the others.
Yeah, both teams with a very similar win rate, so it will be a very tense game. And we haven't seen Team Jeff play in the tournament yet since the new meta. We have seen Team Mantis, but we haven't seen if Team Jeff will pick up any of the new characters from the Fantastic Four team-up combination. We have seen Team Mantis use them, however, so it'll be interesting to see if Team Jeff pick up a similar approach, but also it can change with a couple of the subs coming in. We don't know what substitutes are going to play. It could shape up the entire team composition. Whether we're going to see a triple strategic composition from Team Jeff will be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting at how those kind of coordinate with each other, how those team dynamics work, because I would like to see some new characters which we haven't seen in the tournaments so far been brought in. So people like Elastic Man or going with Penny Parker, those kind of off-rolled, off-meta picks, just because it'll be more interesting to see. But again, I doubt it. I think it will still be the similar people who've already been played. Like recently, Emma Frost has been almost picked in every single map since the new champion was released and new maps. Stuff like Venom was a solid pick. Captain America is always a solid pick. Groot, The Thing, those kind of always been the solid picks throughout this tournament so far. And going to duelists, you see a lot of Magic, you see a lot of Spider-Man, you see a lot of Winter Soldier and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if and the strategists, they kind of speak for themselves. There's 4 strategies being played every single game. So it's going to be interesting to see if those switch up and see if people try and pick new characters from that and just try and play around the different ones. But I don't think we will. I think it will still be a similar ban and pick phase, like saving the Lunar Snow or saving the Emma Frost, banning Groot or The Thing, just to try and minimize team compositions to have almost one funnel. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, even though we're so late into the tournament, we're still seeing so many new approaches to play the game. As we saw last week, Effort was showing that you can play Jeff in a different way. We haven't seen Jeff played like a duelist role on the flank. We saw Effort going on the flank, getting the big picks, farming his ultimate as quickly as he could, and just getting so much value out of them ultimates. It was really good to see a new playstyle on the strategist role.
Yeah, it's especially that Jeff game. Like, we will be going to the game almost instantly right now. But especially that Jeff game, when it was played, it was almost unheard of the way Jeff was played. So we are going to the game. The game is Spider-Verse and Spider Islands, and it will be a convoy to begin. But yeah, going back to the Jeff play, you don't see Jeff played like that. He's very much a backline poke, heal, sustain, and going with big ults. But we saw Effort go off in a completely different tangent, going, yeah, I can play Jeff, but I'm going to play him like a duelist.
Yeah, the kills he was getting was really good value, but even if he didn't get the kills, it was still amazing value as he was just being such a big nuisance to the other team, just being a distraction in the back line.
Yeah, very much the case. And we are going to pick and bans right now, and the first ban coming in will be for Team Mantis. And who will they ban this time? I'm predicting something like a Thing or the Hulk coming out. That's a good ban. I do know Jeff does like a good Hulk. The Human Torch getting banned very, very quickly out. He's a very strong duelist, which has been recently introduced as well to the game. The first save for Team Jeff. Team Rocket. One of the strategist roles, they do love running that triple strategist, as you can see already. 3 highlighted in the team comp.
Yeah, we see a lot of teams get a lot of value out of that revive station that the Rocket does provide.
Very much the case. Mantis going for a save on the Cloak and Dagger this time. They will follow up with a ban right now, and they're banning out... Who's that? I can't...
Punisher.
Thank you. They ban out Punisher. And Jeff with a group ban. That's very interesting, because we do see group can work very well on convoy points for either side, especially defense. So it's very interesting that Jeff is defending first, and they've decided to opt out of the group role. But they have picked up the Magneto instead, which is going to be very interesting, because I think Magneto has a lot of play style to that. A lot of team compositions can play around Magneto. And Mantis has saved the Iron Fist. We haven't seen a lot of Iron Fist this tournament, have we?
No, we haven't seen much of him. We've seen him picked a couple times, but definitely not enough to be a character that somebody would save.
Indeed. So we've seen Luna Snow ban. That's a very good ban. Her ults can save teams very, very easily. And a Loki ban coming out on the side of Team Jeff. So it does seem like Team Jeff have walked slightly into going with funneling, picking 3 strategists, because they're the only ones we can really pick. It does look like a Thing has been picked up as well for Team Jeff, but the rest of the team are kind of hovering. They haven't really locked in yet. But the whole Mantis have already locked in. They've got the Emma Frost, they've got Magneto, they've got Cloak and Dagger, Magic, Invisible Girl, and the Winter Soldier. So they've got a very solid lineup. I don't think any team-ups in their comp as such, unless Emma Frost and Invisible Girl have a team-up. But on the side of Team Jeff, I'm not too sure about these two teams. I know Mantis will have a solid pick on their lineups because we've seen them before. No matter what comp they can play, they are very effective in the way they use it. But Team Jeff kind of seem... They've gone for the Magneto, Rocket, Invisible Girl...
Mantis, The Thing,
Mantis.
and Bucky.
Yeah, it's just a bit odd to see, because I know they are very solid picks in their own right, but it does seem they're lacking a bit of almost frontline engage apart from The Thing.
That was a really quick kill there early on from Team Jeff, and they've actually got 2 kills already. And yeah, that was a very interesting veto phase. I think it was more of a tactical approach to the veto phase with a lot of strategists being banned and saved. But
Yeah.
this is a good start from Jeff here.
That's very true, but obviously Jeff's proved me completely wrong by getting 3 quick kills off the bat and only losing 1, pushing the whole team Mantis back. So it does seem like they have picked well for the way their players play and their team comps. But it will be different I do think it will change as the map as the convoy is slowly pushed, because there are points where the thing can be picked out very, very quickly. But as of right now, both teams sitting on a standoff, not really much happening. Magneto does drop on the side of Team Mantis. They do drop one, so it does look like Team Mantis is going to go straight on the offense there and try and go for kills.
Winter Soldier doing a really good job at farming his ultimate really early on there, able to get a lot of damage into the background, into the back line, and Mantis is just slowly falling apart piece by piece as two have fallen now. Team Jeff looking really strong on this defensive side, as they are a very heavy strategist comp, so maybe the defense side is a bit easier for them. So we'll see if they can keep it up on the attack side, but this defense so far is looking really strong for them.
Yeah, that's very true. It almost looks like they're just holding that choke point and not letting it go. Like, you see Magic coming here for the backline, try and kill the Sheesh, but doesn't really get much out of it. Has to dip back, otherwise it's going to get picked off. The thing gets really low, stunned out almost constantly. Magneto now jumping in to try and save them. Invisible Barrier was popped inside Team Jeff to just keep them up, and the whole of Team Mantis almost aced again. Magic having to drop back into base just to heal herself back up.
Yeah, Mantis really struggling early on here. They're going to have to probably change characters here at this pace after they burn a couple of them ultimates if they don't win this next team fight, because they are going to run out of time. They've only got a minute 40 seconds left to push this, and they haven't even got past that first choke point. Team Jeff just looking too strong on this defensive side.
Indeed, and as you can see, another person from Team Mantis dropping in almost instantly. It's almost like a Team Jeff can just find those picks out of nowhere. Team Thing does go down, but he is raised up by the rocket, so he's back in the fight almost instantly. A lot of ults being popped from inside Team Mantis here. I don't think they're going to get a lot out of it, because Jeff perfectly timed their ultimates to counteract.
The Thing does still have his ultimate as well to counter anything that Mantis does try and come up with, and Mantis are still sticking to the same team composition, so they're trying to stick to that last ditch effort and hopefully something works, but Jeff is just denying everything right now. Utter defiance from Team Jeff right now.
Yeah, Team Jeff are just all over Team Mantis. Mantis don't really have any opportunities to try and counteract that or fight back at all. It's almost like Team Jeff answers to everything Mantis do right now. Team Mantis have done for a quick switch up and opting to switch to the Moon Knight now and switch up Cloak and Dagger for an Invisible Girl to try and give themselves the last ditch effort on the push with only 23 seconds remaining. But the Thing doesn't care. The Thing's just going straight through all of Team Mantis, basically on his own.
If Mantis don't win this next team fight, they are going to lose the round. Only 10 seconds left, so they are going to be approaching the overtime, but they're stuck in their own spawn right now. Team Jeff looking to hold the line. Magneto is going to throw the Meteor M down. Gets a lot of value out of it, actually a kill and a lot of damage onto the other players. Huge play from the Magneto there, and Team Jeff still have a couple of ultimates to burn. Mantis are looking very weak right now. They've popped the invisible barrier to keep everybody alive, but the revive station from Team Jeff is keeping their own players alive. There's too much players left for Jeff. Mantis are trying to stay alive. They do have all players alive, and Jeff are slowly falling. This could be a last-ditched effort from Mantis as they break through that wall.
Yeah, but it could be too little too late. 'Cause the point is on overtime. It will slowly keep ticking down. If they get off the point by any second, suddenly they lose the objective. So if Team Jeff managed to link up here and get back on the defensive point and hold a choke point, they can claim victory very, very quickly here.
And Team Jeff have been able to farm up a few of their ultimates of their own to win this next team fight, and that overtime bar is ever so slowly fading away as Mantis have only got the Meteor M to work with, and they're losing a lot of health here. The duelists are going low, but the strategist doing a really good job there. The Thing is going to fall as he does get caught off guard.
Yeah, he does. The Thing does dive really, really harshly into the backline there, but the overtime is still ticking down. Mantis don't have a lot of time remaining, and it does look like Team Jeff managed to hold on the very first point on the convoy on Spider-Verse, which leaves it down to Team Jeff only pushing it to the almost halfway point of the first point to be able to claim victory in this first game here.
Yeah, Mantis unfortunately couldn't push past that first choke point, which ended up being their own demise as they were pushing, but they just ran out of time on that overtime bar. Team Jeff was so good on that defensive side. They were just a strong wall burning in the flames, and they were daring it to burn brighter.
As you can see on the picks, Team Jeff have gone for a very, very similar lineup. They've just opted to drop their duelist from the Winter Soldier to the Black Widow, which is interesting pick because we don't see Black Widow played a lot, from what I know.
We've only seen a few players pick up the Black Widow, and it would only be for a few minutes, as it normally doesn't work out very well. We saw Effort doing a good job on the Black Widow, though, but that was only in one game.
Yeah, so Black Widow's a niche pick, but if they manage to use her correctly and use her to her straight advantage, she can get a very, very quick early picks in these strategists and take them out. I would say the Hawkeye will probably be slightly better than the Black Widow, just because Hawkeye has a lot more kill pressure than Black Widow at the moment, unless Black Widow has been buffed recently, which I may not know about. But we will see Team Jess trying to come out the gate instantly. The Magneto, Team Jess Magneto being popped, Black Widow getting down to half. But the strategist is there healing up the Thing, who's the sole frontline now. They are Team Jeff are taking a lot of damage though, very, very quickly.
Yeah, Mantis taking a similar approach to Team Jeff. They're just taking a very aggressive approach on the defensive side to try and hold this choke point early on, because Jeff doesn't have to push the payload very fast, so Mantis do have to hold it at this checkpoint for at least 3 minutes here.
But it does look like Team Jeff has pushed very, very quickly them back to the second chokehold, which is just around the corner from where they need to get the payload, effectively. So it does look like Team Jeff have got a harder push on right now, but that can all change if 1 or 2 team wipes happen. And there is a Spider-Man in the backline for Team Mantis going into Team Jeff right now. See if he can catch anyone. He does catch one of the strategists out, but doesn't manage to claim the kill.
Yeah, Spidey doing a really good job at punishing that backline there, but unfortunately, only getting 1 kill isn't going to get his team enough value to be able to hold Team Jeff back here, as the respawn is right next to where the payload is, so they're just coming back into the fight a few seconds later, and the other strategist keeping everyone alive. Invisible Barrier has been popped, and Rocket does pop his ultimate as well. Counter Invisible Barrier has also been popped to try and keep Team Jeff alive, and they are going to win this one out, as they do have man advantage by 2 players right now, and everybody else is looking healthy on the side of Jeff, whereas Mantis is slowly falling apart. Doctor Strange is going to fall low. People are going to come back, but their respawn point is a lot further away than Team Jeff, so Team Jeff are going to be able to push this payload here.
And it all falls down to the Doctor Strange there, chilling in the uprights, trying to maybe gain some time for their point just by soaking damage or just getting on the payload. However, that was taken away very quickly. Here we see the Spider-Man trying to do the exact same thing, but he almost drops and has to get out of there very, very quickly.
It looks like Team Jeff are going to push it to the 1 meter mark if Team Mantis can't contest this, and they do in the last half meter. But Team Jeff and they've already won. They didn't have enough people on the point on the side of Team Mantis, so a very dominant performance from Team Jeff in that first game.
Nice couple of crucial kills on the Black Widow there at the very end, getting the 2 people who jumped on payload, just being able to snipe them off very, very quickly. So very, very good pick on the Black Widow. But that was a very, very fast game on the Team Jeff versus Team Mantis. We haven't seen a lot of Team Jeff play because they haven't been played in the recent weeks, because they were basically constantly through the loose brackets. They haven't been playing a lot. But Team Mantis, I kind of expected more from them for the first point. I'm not sure if it's not their day or the subs have really messed up their compositions. But versus Team Thor, they looked like a much stronger team.
Yeah, Team Mantis definitely looked like a team that could win the crown here at the Triumph Challenger Cup tournament. But with performances like that from Team Jeff, they look like they can take on 4 themselves.
Yeah, I do completely agree with that. It just does seem like Team Mantis kind of lost their way. They probably need to kind of regroup themselves after the loss against Team Thor, because that was a long trawling game. It went all 5. So it was a long trawling game, and they've been playing every single week since they started playing. So it's going to be interesting of seeing how they can bounce back from that, see if they can recoup themselves, recharge themselves, ready for the next game. But Jeff taking the first game by storm, absolute storm. Not even the first point was even captured by Team Mantis, and they couldn't even stop the early pressure they had. They did get a couple of kills early, but Team Jeff just pushed Team Mantis back to the second chokehold and eventually just managed to get them off and team wipe them to allow them to do that solid push all the way to the end with, I think, 2 minutes and 50 seconds to spare at the end of that.
Yeah, Team Jeff rewriting the script of what we thought it to be, as we thought Manus would look a lot more dominant than Jeff in this series from what we've seen in previous games. But if Team Manus are going to want to come back, I think this next game is very decisive. You don't want to go down 2-0 in a best of 5. It's going to be really mentally draining for Team Manus if they do lose this next game.
That's very true. It will also come down to I would say, team composition and point orientation of how the games will go. Because, like we saw versus Team Thor and Team Mantis last week, Mantis were a lot stronger on the control points.
Yeah.
Than they were on the push points. I'm not sure if that's because they've been doing a lot more training on control points recently than push points. But they used to be the opposite. They used to be the strongest push team we had seen throughout the tournament, where Thor was the opposite. But that was kind of turned around when Thor had that huge victory over Team Mantis to take them straight through to the grand final.
Yeah, so we are going to be heading into the second game now, which I believe will be a domination game. Convergence game, sorry.
So this can be very interesting how this plays out, because Team Mantis could pull it back in this one because they have been looking stronger on these kind of maps and points. But it all comes down to the game, and after the first game of Team Mantis, I'm not sure if they're in the right state of mind or in the right mood to play these games right now, because Team Jeff just walked over them like they were nothing in the first game.
Yeah, that previous map could just have been a strong map for Jeff, though. We did see Team Mantis play that spider map in the last week as well, and it can bring off some big upsets with some teams being really strong on that defensive side, with that choke point being so hard to push around that corner, but just Team Jeff showing how it's done.
Yeah, that's very true. As we can see, the first bans coming in straight away, Hulk and Human Torch being banned out from either side again. It doesn't seem like those two teams like those people very much. The Rocket being saved again for the side of Team Jeff. He was a very crucial linchpin for their team. Whenever the thing dropped, which was mainly the person who dropped on the Jeff side, was he back into the fight. We see the Winter Soldier save coming in, which is a solid pick, solid duelist, and can do a lot of damage very, very quickly as long as they're played very, very well. The Thing ban coming in. Mantis didn't like the Thing pick. So they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to give themselves more options to pick from now. But I'm not sure if that's going to do much, because the Thing can still opt into something like a Venom, who's still very tanky, who can dive better than the Thing. And they still have a couple others. The Groot being saved this time. As I said before, Groot's been played a lot in these tournaments, and Groot is very, very strong right now.
Yeah, with how this veto phase is going, with it being fairly similar to the last game, you can only favour Jeff with what happened in that previous game with a similar veto phase with the Hulk and Human Torch bans, as well as the Groot save and Rocket save.
We do see an Emma Frost save coming in here, which is interesting. She is very strong. She is an amazing pick for a lot of ultimates, because she can just counter them as long as she can get on them and stop them quick enough. So she can be very crucial in certain fights, but it's all to do with if she's used correctly. We did miss out on the Wolverine ban coming in from Team Jeff, and banning out the Spider-Man as well. So they're getting rid of the Wolverine and Spider-Man just to get rid of the kind of dive onto this strategist, because they do love playing that triple strategist role.
They have opted for the Punisher ban again on the side of Mantis for the second game in a row. So they definitely like to ban them similar characters of Hulk and Punisher in both games, which we'll probably see be a pattern emerging throughout the series.
Indeed. So as you can see, the picks here on the side of Team Jeff, going for, I think that's Cloak and Dagger, Rocket, Magneto, Groot, Loki, and Neymar. So it's going to be a very interesting team comp like that. And it's interesting Team Jeff not picking up the Lunar Snow when Lunar Snow is available. It's kind of been their linchpins for the supports. But on the opposite side, Mantis has opted to go for the Lunar Snow. She's very, very strong right now with her ult. They've gone for the triple strategist as well. They've also gone for Cloak and Dagger, GF. They've also picked up the Groot, Magneto. So very, very similar supports and vanguards. Just opted to switch out the Rocket and the Loki for Jeff and Luna Snow, which Luna Snow on convergent points are very, very strong. She can just pop her ult and allow her team to run in with her.
Team Mantis are going to want a good early start here with how that last game's attacking round went. It's a bit mentally grueling for Mantis to have to start on attack once again, considering that last game was really tough for them. But they're going to take a bit of a more aggressive approach, as Magneto is trying to fight the other Magneto in the back line, and Groot is going to back him up. So very similar compositions with the Vanguards being the same. So they're going to have to try and outmatch their counterpart. But both teams doing a really good job at staying alive, but that's only going to favour Jeff more and more as this fight has a longer war of attrition. Magneto is going to fall low, and he actually does fall. Luna Snow is also dropping low on HP, but amazing kills from the Vanguards on Team Jeff, and that's a tough one for Mantis to take.
It does come down to the Vanguard difference at the very front. Whoever the Vanguards stay up the longest, which comes back to the strategist and the duelist playing their part as well. Whoever the Vanguard can kind of stay up the longest in the fight, as long as their team's up, kind of wins it at the end of the day, because it's just more tank at the front line, more disruption, more deflection, more absorption in one side of the team than the other. And as you saw that really quickly going on, Team Jeff's Magneto being almost picked off there by his group and the enemy's group walling, and we see an amazing ult in, I think that was, but by Team Jeff's Groot picking off 2 people straight off the bat to allow them to keep pushing forward. Groot not stopping though. He's going for more. He's out for blood. He is dropping very low though, so he has to drop back. But the strategist from Team Jeff has returned, and Groot getting another one with almost another team wipe. However, Mantis' Team Jeff is being a bit of a nuisance on the point here. Got caught the point up to a quarter, but I'm not sure if that's going to stay because no one else back on point, and Jeff has to leave. Neymar going off hunting for the fishes.
Looks like the Mantis' Jeff is trying to take a similar approach to what we saw Effort doing in the last week, trying to get some information in the backline and be a nuisance. He is going to try and break them Loki clones, but Loki is just going to place more, and it looks like he's not going to get any value on that Jeff in the flank from now because the other team is pushing forward, but he is going to ult into the backline, and Mantis need to pounce on this to get as much value as possible, as he's only gotten one enemy, but it is the Vanguard, so that Mantis are going to have to push onto Team Jeff here. It looks like all members of Team Jeff are still alive, and Namor has popped his ultimate onto site. It doesn't get any value, but it might have done some damage. Fate of Both Worlds has been popped, which probably kept everybody alive. Rocket has also popped his ultimate in the midst of things. Mantis are losing 2 members, and these kills at the minute just feel like statement kills to Team 4 in the grand finals waiting for them.
Yeah, very much the case. They are taking no prisoners. They're going all out in these games right here. As you can see straight off the bat, someone needs to pick off the Jeff. Someone needs to. I would say Team Mantis needs to switch off the Jeff and go for more of a more pokey duelist to try and do that. For example, going an Iron Man or something like that, trying to just do some more damage to those Vanguards and those triple strategists roll. Because Jeff is just not cutting it at the moment. Yes, he has good poke. Yes, he is disrupting and taking one of the Vanguards. But it did nothing in the overall fight when Team Jeff, when it was a 5v5, still winning it. Getting 2 picks very, very quickly.
Yeah, I think he's tried to... A really good play there from Team Jeff to catch the Vanguards in one big pit and just deal a lot of damage on them. Groot is going to fall though, but he should stay alive here with the help of both strategists being alive. Mantis have lost 2 of their strategists, so they aren't going to receive as many heals, which is why 4 people have fallen in an instant. Meteor Rem does get the Jeff in the back line. I think, yeah, the Team Mantis' Jeff is trying to cut, and Team Jeff have actually won that round already, so Mantis running out of time once again for the 2nd game in a row. But yeah, Team Mantis' Jeff, I think, was trying to copy Effort from last week, but the only problem was Effort was doing it against a lot more squishy characters, so he was able to damage them enough to kill them, whereas a lot of the players on Team Jeff are quite tanky, especially with them strategists working really well together at the same time, and the Loki clone just healing everyone in the background. The Jeff isn't going to do enough damage to get any kills in the back line, but he does get a good ultimate. Unfortunately, his team couldn't pounce off of it.
That's very true, but also when Effort was playing the Jeff, he was doing it on maps so he can easily jump off the edge. The edge was always very, very close to the points, where this game, the edge was very far away and the Jeff could never reach the edge, so all he could do was try and pick off some people and throw them away and even sacrifice himself for that, to allow him to point. But unfortunately, the ult didn't go right. He only picked up 1 Vanguard, which was the Groot, but they still had the Magneto standing there as the front line with the triple strategist behind him, so Magneto was not going to drop They have Team Jeff have opted to go for the Hawkeye this time, and Mantis have switched out from the Jeff to picking up Winter Soldier and the Moon Knight this time. So it's going to be interesting how this plays out. Team Mantis have gone off to go, I'm going to be a lot more damage this time. Screw the poke, screw around trying to go back line and go for more poke. Where in the third Team Jeff, they have opted to go for the same lineup as last time, apart from the Hawkeye. Which can be interesting how that plays out, because Hawkeye can do some devastating damage, especially if he catches someone off guard. And as you can see, the two lineups of the teams, if we can go back to that screen real quick. In the last game, Team Jeff were very organised at the front. The two Vanguards were at the front, pushing in, chilling. Where if you see Team Jeff right now, they're opting to go for two different angles, which can stress out the strategists if there's only two. But as there's three, you can stick two on the main tank and one on the other, and they shouldn't really die. As you can see right now, a lot of damage coming in on the Team Jeff group, dropping low, but the strategist on point, healing back up, making sure he doesn't drop.
It's a big kill from Team Jeff's Hawkeye there, as they've got 3 minutes and they only need to win one team fight here to make it 2-0 in the series, and we'll already be in our potential final game. And there it is already. Team Jeff just cleaning up, and they are going to take this series 2-0 already.
Two very, very fast games. Jeff is not here to make allies, make friends. They're here to take names. They're here to get to the grand final and win it.
Yeah, Team Jeff definitely making a statement early on already in this series. Hopefully, Team Mantis can do something to pull it back so we have an entertaining series on our hands, as we know they are capable of.
Yes. And, of course, as always, the first two games, we'll be going for a short break. Don't go anywhere. If you need to go grab snacks, you've got a 10-minute window for that. So go and grab snacks, go and grab some drinks, because this is setting up to be an amazing couple of games coming up next. And hopefully it may go all five, or Jeff may snag the next game in the way they've been playing, just completely trounce and go straight through to the grand finals versus Thor. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I'm coming home. city looks so bright. Close your eyes and just stay tight. We have to go. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me while we leave. Don't worry, just believe me. This journey will relieve us. Stay with me while we leave. Stay with me.
And welcome back. Hopefully everyone enjoyed their break. Hopefully everyone had a nice break, got some snacks, got some drinks. We are going into the second half right now. And Jeff are 2-0. So they only need to win one more. That's it. And they go through the grand finals. Manchester have a lot of ground to catch up if they want to stay in this and want to get to the grand finals themselves. But it comes down to this game. This game is going to be crucial for Team Mantis or for Team Jeff. So it's all up in the air right now. After the last two games, Team Jeff have been on form, winning the first two games back-to-back ridiculous quickly. And I mean, it's the fastest we've ever seen people wipe teams in this competition so far in two separate games. I think the second game was actually faster than the first game. So it's going to be interesting how the teams kind of come back from that. If Team Jeff are going to almost ride this momentum and just do it steamroll again, or Team Mantis have now reset themselves to go, okay, we need to start playing to our strengths, we need to get back into this.
Yeah, Team Mantis definitely need to change something up in this next game because Team Jeff just looking too dominant on both the attacking and defending side, but definitely their defensive side, it seems to be unbreakable for Team Mantis here. They can't push through that first checkpoint on both of the maps. So Team Mantis is going to have to be a little more aggressive or change their play style and approach to how they be more aggressive onto Team Jeff, as Team Jeff just holding the front and back line so well together. They're working as one mind rather than just a team. They've got one goal in mind, and that is to get to the grand final. And we are going to be heading in to the third game where Jeff could close it out in an instant.
And this will be a convoy point again, but this is time in Midtown. So it's going to be very interesting how these teams shape up and how the picks and bans are chosen this time. I do think we're going to see a similar bans come out from the side of Team Jeff because they've kind of stayed true to their guns. They haven't really changed much. And I do think they're going to go for a heavy support save again. Mantis need to change up their picks and saves here because if they just keep going down the same route, they're going to have the same results over and over again.
Yeah, hopefully Mantis do change things up a little here, because in the last veto phase, they done very similar bans, and they have once again started with that Hulk ban.
Again, Jeff coming out with the Human Torch ban, which is a very good ban in my opinion. Human Torch is very heavily strong right now. He's a brand new character. Not many people know how to play against him. And again, the rocket save straight off the bat. Nice save as a rocket save. He's a very, very solid champion that I've been using perfectly throughout this tournament so far.
Already looking strong for Team Jeff here. Heavily favouring the side of Team Jeff with this veto phase so far, as it has taken a similar approach to the first two games which Jeff took in dominant fashion.
Mantis have opted to save the Spider-Man this time to allow their team to pick the Spider-Man. So it is going to be a bit weird seeing that because it has been used but not effectively in the first game, and then the second game being banned completely. The thing being banned out again on the side of Team Mantis, they obviously really didn't like that pick. I'm not sure if it was the most useful ban last game because they just switched to Groot and just walked over them. Jeff have taken out one of the other dive champions, Venom, so it doesn't look like it's going to be a very dive tank game as such, so there's not going to be a lot of engage, but as you saw in the Magneto and Groot, they don't need it to push points.
Yeah, they are going to ban that Venom, which is also going to stop Team Mantis from potentially playing that Spider-Man symbiote combination with the likes of Spider-Man and Venom, which gives Spider-Man a very strong, aggressive playstyle with that added symbiote into his kit.
That's very true, and as we see the last two saves and pick coming out, Captain America being saved on the side of Team Mantis, on the opposite side, Invisible Girl being saved. Invisible Girl has been very, very strong throughout this whole tournament, and her invisible barrier has been very strong as managing to save teams at most crucial points. We do see a Winter Soldier ban coming out on the side of Team Jeff, so obviously Team Jeff didn't really like that pick, so they just kind of took it away in general. But we do see a Loki ban coming out side of Team Mantis, and then last game that Loki was crucial as well. So on the side of Team Jeff here, we see the Captain America, the Halia, the Invisible Girl, Cloak and Dagger, Emma Frost, and Rocket. The Rocket has been on form this whole game, always picked, always saved. So it's been very strong. And this Halia as the duelist can become very, very strong very quickly as long as they're played very well, and if farmed ultimates very quickly, can do some devastating, massive damage.
I think this first choke point is going to seem impossible for Team Mantis to push through with how much they've struggled on that attacking side, and Team Jeff are going to be able to take the high ground on the defensive side here. And I think Team Jeff ever so slightly won that veto phase, especially with some of Mantis' saves being characters that Team Jeff wanted to play anyway, whereas Team Jeff saves, Team Mantis didn't want to play at all. So Team Jeff definitely winning that one slightly. But Mantis getting a really early kill there. That's really good for their mentor, although it gets traded out very early on by the Captain America as he's just dueling the other Captain America right now. Team Jeff is going to fall low, but it looks like Captain America is going to dive quite far in on his own, so he might get caught off guard here. He is going to get healed, but he is going to get slain, so that's going to be a really poor kill for the side of Team Mantis, as they're not going to be able to push that payload with Team Jeff having all members alive. They're just going to push them back to their own spawn. It's looking very repetitive right now. It's deja vu for Team Mantis all over again for the third game in a row.
And again, the Captain America drops, but the Rocket there just to anti-res him. Going into the backline now, trying to do some damage. However, he's not getting much out of it. The Team Mantis Captain America drops again.
Really good heals there from both Strategists, just keeping everybody alive, whereas Team Mantis struggling to win their duels at the minute as they're not receiving as much heals as the Spider-Man is swinging on his own, so he is getting far away from his healers. He is doing good damage, but he is very far apart from the rest of his team as Captain America has fallen. Team Jeff pushing Team Mantis back to their spawn once again. They're going to hold the payload here at this choke point. It's going to be really hard for Team Mantis to regather themselves, considering the third game in a row they've been struggling here. It's not really good for their mental right now. Team Mantis are going to probably have to switch team compositions if it stays like this.
If the observer can quickly switch to a bird's eye view for me for a second. So if you look at how Team Mantis and Team Jeff are kind of spread, Team Jeff are almost on top of each other, but using the buildings to their advantage, where Team Mantis is so spread, there's not a lot the strategists can do to heal their team. And as you can see, another one of Team Mantis dropping. They are popping ults right now, so if we switch back to the combat, it's going to be very heavy. As you can see, the Captain America diving into the very back lines, but the strategists can't just keep up because of the way Team Jeff had almost pushing the strategist and the duelist back, so Captain America is almost isolated.
Yeah, we're seeing Team Jeff winning these war of attritions because they're almost entrenching the players of Team Mantis, as we're seeing Captain America getting encircled by the players of Team Jeff. They're one mind right now, working as one big cohesive unit. They're almost like a robot just working together right now as Team Mantis getting picked apart slowly, but the fate of both worlds is going to come in to try and help them push out of that first corner around the map and push into that choke point, but the heals from Team Jeff are too good. The rocket revive is back, so the Vanguard will come back into the fight. One member of Mantis is fallen. They don't have the revive on their own side, so Team Jeff might be able to win this one out with the man advantage. Team Mantis' players are coming back into the fight, though.
Yeah, because Team Mantis are a lot closer to their spawn, obviously. So them losing player, yes, they're down for like 15 seconds, but they will come back in very, very quickly. But that doesn't really change stuff if they just keep dropping and dropping and dropping and not dealing with that rocket revive, not dealing with that rocket. They need to get rid of the rocket. They need to get rid of a couple of the strategists to truly try and do a push. But it's just not working. They're just not doing it. Their team can just somehow not find the answers. And as you can see right now, Team Jeff pushed Mantis back into their spawn again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when Team Jeff are killing these players on Team Mantis, when they're going to kill both the strategists, because Mantis are going to receive no heals, and the rest of the team are going to fall slowly one by one, and Team Jeff sharing the same goal in mind, which is sending Team Mantis' players back to their own spawn room. Team Mantis are going to try and push up here, and it's a really good play from the duelist with that ultimate there, getting 2 kills, and it is going to allow the rest of Team Mantis to clean up a few players. Team Jeff are going to have to fall back here and give a little respect to the side of Team Mantis and maybe give up a lot of space here, but Captain America doing a really good job at buying a lot of time, so his teammates are going to come in, but they're going to respawn too far away, and Captain America is going to fall, so he's not going to be able to join into the fight, the next team fight, for the next 5 seconds.
But he has held the point long enough to push it to overtime, allowing his team to regroup for a one final engage fight. Neither team has any ults up, so it's going to be coming down to a war and attrition from the strategist role. They are trying to pick the rocket here, but the rocket managed to disengage quickly, but did get caught off by the Spider-Man. As you can see right now, the Doc Strange portal coming in, a huge portal allowing his team to get back very, very quickly, jump on point. And they have managed to stall the point for slightly longer, and they managed to start ticking down the overtime clock without them pushing. The Siege is going mental, keeping the side of Team Jeff up, and Mantis is dropping one by one. The Spider-Man's dropping. Their Captain America is about to drop. Their Psylocke is the last person remaining who can do something, but can't get back to the point in time. And Team Jeff do take the first round.
Yeah, the teamwork from Team Jeff right now is outstanding. Some of the best team plays we've seen in the entire tournament. Everybody is playing collectively right now and just really good job at sticking together, taking their team fights, never taking 1v1s, making sure they've always got the man advantage in them 2v1 fights. And then Team Mantis just slowly falls apart. So Team Jeff looking very strong, and it's not looking good for Team Mantis here. They're going to hold them at the first choke point, which we haven't seen them do in the last 2 games, but can they do it in this third and final potential game?
And as you can see from the side of Team Jeff, they obviously like that Psylocke perk in the last game because they've got it again. Because if they manage to farm that ult very, very quickly and jump on the strategists and the backline duelists, suddenly Team Mantis' team will fall apart in a matter of seconds. So if they manage to get that push off very, very quickly and get the ult off, especially on the Psylocke quickly, they can manage to roll over the team and push it very, very quickly. Team Mantis have picked up the rocket though. they have picked up that revive, which has been a crucial part for Team Jeff, keeping up the vanguards, just allowing them to get back in the fight very, very quickly. So it's going to be interesting. If we can stay on this bird's eye view for a second and watch how the two teams kind of set up. Team Mantis opting for trying to stay in that almost alleyway, where when Team Jeff was setting up, they were standing on either side of the buildings, jumping on choke points to allow them to start rolling around. As we go back into gameplay, let's switch screens. Strange taking a lot of damage very quickly, however it is healed up by the strategist. Rocket on the side of Team Jeff being dropped very low. We see all teams taking a lot of damage. Team Jeff's Psylocke does drop but managed to get back up due to that rocket revive. Captain America going in very, very deep. I'm not sure if it's too deep for his strategist. No, it's not. Strategist does catch him very quickly. They are Team Jeff are pushing Mantis back slowly, keeping their pressure on, keeping the push going on the point.
And Team Mantis need to win this team fight, or Team Jeff are going to win it. They've only got 20 meters to push the point, and maybe that passive approach on the buildings is going to cost them, as them few meters could be dire in the remaining 3 minutes of this game, if it even gets to it, because Team Jeff are looking to end this one early, as Doctor Strange is going to fall low. All members of Team Jeff are looking very healthy right now, whereas Mantis's health bars are fading away, but they are going to stay onto the point and stay alive. The rocket is going to get a kill onto the Doctor Strange, so they aren't going to have as much. And both Vanguards are dead for Team Mantis. This is very bad for Team Mantis, and they are going to lose this one. Team Jeff wins this very, very quickly.
Bit like they've been doing this whole match so far. Every single point, they've been on point, holding it to the last second, going into overtime, holding it so they can't push the first point, and then suddenly snapping back and pushing 3 times as hard they were defending and walking over Team Mantis. Team Jeff with an astounding victory, 3-0 over Mantis, taking them through to the grand final.
Yeah, Team Jeff just storming ahead to the grand final, and they're going to have to keep playing like that because they're going to be facing the Gods of Thunder of 4, which is going to be a very tough game, as 4 have proven to be dominant, but Jeff making a couple statements of their own. So the grand final will be next Thursday, and it is definitely going to be an interesting one to watch, so you've got to stay tuned for that.
It's going to be the Sharks versus the Lightning. It's an interesting matchup. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining this game. Amazing match. We are coming back next week with our last stream, the grand finals. So please keep an eye out on that. Go to our social media links. Keep an eye out. All VODs will be posted on our YouTube down in the corner there. We will be posting regular updates, but please stick around. Please come back for the grand final because it will be a very good one. Thank you very much. See you.
I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. This is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut.